This type of attention you've got, make something of it. Don't try and make something of it. Whether it's a career or something.
What type of career can you do out of this?
I could be a rapper.
You could be a rapper?
Yes.
Okay, is that what the avenue that you're trying to go down? Because I did see that you were putting music on your story and things like that.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you have a plan, essentially.
Yeah.
So obviously you said that you don't really care about how people perceive you, the internet is a facade, X, Y, Z. What about in the future? Because when you put things on the internet, there is a digital footprint. And what about your children in the future, your potential husband, maybe a job, things like clients? Let's say, for example, you do become a successful rapper. Maybe brands might not want to particularly work with you because of certain things that you say. Does that bother you at all? Do you think about that?
No, look at Cardi B. How did she start?
That's
she started
very true.
by talking shit. She said a lot in her career. She got picked up by Love and Hip Hop. Then from there released Bodak Yellow. No one talks about the days where she used to sit on Instagram and talk crap. I love Cardi B, by the way. But that's how she started.
I totally agree with you, but do you think that that space can be cultivated in the UK? Because remember, Cardi B's in America, their morals, everything that they stand for, even their culture is very different to the UK. In the UK, like I said, we're a lot more prudish here.
Yeah.
So although everybody is doing these sexual acts, not everybody talks about it and everyone has a lot more to say. So do you think that even though that kind of timeline that you said with Cardi B is true, do you think that it can be reflected in the UK?
Definitely. Only because people are quite shocked by me, I believe. Because as you said, the UK is very prudish. I stand out. It's like, it makes people look at me. It makes owners of shows and people who have platforms want to speak to me, want me on their shows. So I think eventually it'll work out.
Okay. I love that you're positive about it. That being said though, is this maybe an introduction to you, a persona that you're putting out as an introductory, and then are you planning to keep this throughout your career? Or
I wouldn't say it's a persona. I would say this, like, I'm exactly how I am on TikTok. I've only calmed myself down because I can't come here screaming at you, answering the questions. It's just not.
Yeah, but this is just who you are.
It's just who I am. Like, I'm never going to change and I'm never going to get tired because it's just my personality.
Obviously, when people were online kind of getting at you, you were talking about the fact that your dad didn't do a good job raising you. Do you want to elaborate on that? What did you mean?
My dad was like in and out of my life. So there was never really that male proper figure. That may have contributed to how I am now. But either way, I don't know. There's whores with dads.
That is true. So you feel like your dad not being a part of your life is what's led you to being a part-time prostitute?
No, I feel like even if I had a dad, if I choose to be a whore, that's nothing to do with him. People have two parents in their house and become serial killers. I feel like you can have great parents and become a shit kid. Yeah.
Do you not feel any shame when you're talking about these things online?
All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Abad. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechacha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, man, this clip, it's very sad, man, to say the least. Before I elaborate further, I want to give some context to the young lady that was speaking in the interview. She became popular in the UK, and she goes by the name of Tumelo. And she became popular because she's like 18 or 19 years old, something like that. And she became popular by exposing the things that men pay her to do to them, or things, or the things that men pay her to allow them to do to her. She's an OnlyFans, model, but she's also a prostitute, which she admits in this interview. But yeah, she talks about how guys are paying her to eat her butt out and just, wild, crazy things. And she puts it on her TikTok and she exposes, these guys, and she talks about all other crazy stuff. But, the saddest thing about this whole interview that I noticed when I was listening to it is the fact that she said she wants to have a rap career after all of this. And the lady that was interviewing her said, how do you think you're going to have a rap career from this? She said, well, look at Cardi B. And when I heard that, the first initial time I heard it, it almost made me cry because, you see why Esau is allowing these ignorant girls that are becoming rap stars, such as Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Mulatto. It's a lot of them right now. Glorilla. The list goes on and on of all these, the city girls, your Meg Thee Stallions. The list goes on and on of these women that are becoming rap stars that Esau is putting money behind. None of them are really talented in music, but Esau is allowing them to make these records, and he's putting a lot of money behind them, and these records are getting a lot of spins and getting a lot of plays. And the message that is in these, the messages that are in these records and in these songs is straight wickedness. All right, they're teaching women they can be harlots. They're teaching women they don't need a man. They're teaching women to be in a very rebellious manner and whorish spirit. And a very young woman, like this young woman in this interview, this clip that I played, she said the reason that she believes she can continue to act the way she acts and become rich and famous is because Cardi B did it. Not knowing, and she's so ignorant to not even know. She doesn't know the things Cardi B had to sacrifice to get to the point that she's at, or the things that she had to give up, or the things that she had to do. All right? It's coming out now how demonic the music industry and all these major entertainment industries are, and you just don't make it off talent. All right? You have to sacrifice, you have to make sacrifices, and you have to do abominable acts, all right? And witchcraft, sorcery, all right, and straight up wickedness to continue to attain the riches and fame that come with that, right? Now, before I get my first precept, I want to touch on another point that was made in this video when she said, I didn't have my father in my life, but that wouldn't have mattered anyways because I chose to be a whore. She was basically saying, a child can have both parents and choose and still be wicked, which she's right about that. But that's why the Almighty Abba Yahweh, he created laws for rebellious children. And I'm about to get that law right now. See, if this was truly a country that feared God, all right, and upheld the ways of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, the Most High, and Hamashiach Yahushua, because like the interviewer said in the video, the UK is different from America. America's morals are, basically they're filled with, debauchery and degeneracy and filth. America's morals are wicked, They don't uphold the righteous ways of Yahweh Shemel. That's why people gravitate to Christianity, because Christianity allows you to worship a deity named Jesus that accepts you as you are. You can eat what you want to eat. You don't have to keep the dietary law in the Bible. You can be a homosexual. You don't have to adhere to the laws in the Bible. You can just come as you are, and the Lord is just forced to accept you. That's why the Christianity deity Jesus has nothing to do with the true Messiah of the Bible, whose Hebrew name is Yahushua. Right? Now, over here in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18, the scriptures say, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastised him, he will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of the city and unto the gate of his place. So, if a mother and a father have a child, because this applies to the daughters too, if a mother and a father have a child, and they chastise him for being rebellious, and he or she still doesn't listen, then they ought to bring them to the elders of the city, right? Continuing in verse, so this is, now we're going to make a public example out of you, so the rest of the nation, the rest of the community, and their children can see what happens to a rebellious child. Let's continue in verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, this is our son, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. See, when you have a rebellious child, see, in this case, the Lord used the analogy of a son being a glutton and a drunkard, eating Cheetos, playing the video game, and drinking all day, not doing anything productive. Or it can apply to a daughter that's a harlot and rebellious, right? You ought to bring them out, to the amongst the elders and allow the community, the nation, to see their judgment. And we all are supposed to stone them with stones. If this law was being instituted throughout the earth on a major scale, you wouldn't have, your daughters with an OnlyFans account prostituting themselves and with the mindset that they can do as they please and choose the life of harlotry and think that's right. All right? They're doing what's right in their own eyes because the ruler of this society allows them to do such. We live in a kingdom that allows OnlyFans to be a thing. We live in a kingdom that allows Pornhub to be a thing. Those things shouldn't even exist, and they wouldn't exist if the rulers of the society would ban it and forbid it. But they don't do it because they're wicked. They're rebellious against their creator. And who am I speaking of? The Edomites, the so-called white people. All right? They are the ones who run the world right now. Not just America. They run the world, okay? And they are the ones that are going to be the main factors in ending this current age ruled by them, all right? Major key players such as Russia and America and NATO, the European Union, all right? Edomite powers. Next, the next scripture I would like to get is over here in Proverbs chapter 22, one of my favorite scriptures that I love to bring out, and it's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So, parents are supposed to train up their child in the way, in what? They're supposed to train up their child in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's why the Lord gave us laws and ways to live on planet Earth. He didn't just dump us and create us and put us on planet Earth without a standard of living, all right, laws to live by. Christianity will have you believe that the Lord has you on the earth and you don't have to live to a standard. You're not held to any laws that you're supposed to live by. That's madness and insanity, right? But see, what's training up your child? Who's teaching your child? Well, first and foremost, these bugged out teachers at these public school systems, all right? The friends that they are around are teaching them bullshit that they've learned, all right? And these celebrities and the things that they idolize, the people they idolize, social media, the YouTube, all right, TikTok, all right, all manners of wickedness, Hollywood, the music industry. They're teaching your child. They're training up your child's mind. And that's why she brought up Cardi B, all right, a known whore that doesn't have no talent in hip-hop, but she's been propped up to be one of the leaders of the female rap industry. It's a joke, but this is someone she idolizes. In a righteous society, Cardi B wouldn't even exist because we would have been put that evil away from us. According to the law, she would have been stoned, all right? But that shows you the wickedness of this kingdom. Wickedness is allowed to increase and spread. It's not put out from among the people, right? That's why I said it was so sad for me to hear her say that, because she's only 18, 19, and she's saying, I can be a whore, I can talk with a nasty mouth and get a record deal and be rich and famous because Cardi B did it, right? That's sad to hear, man. Our people are destroyed, and it's all a tactic of the devil, the so-called white man. But he only has so much time left before the Lord brings his kingdom down. Because even though he's putting these sexy reds and these whorish rap females and even these wicked niggas that are rapping about drugs and murder, even though he's putting that witchcraft out in the music industry, the Lord has still reserved an elect of his nation that's not going to be fooled by your wicked witchcraft and sorcery. All right? I want to get another scripture, another favorite scripture of mine. of mine's over here in Titus chapter 2. And let me go to verse 3. It says, "The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things." And the older women of this generation, they trying to compete with their daughters. They're trying to compete with the young women. They don't give a damn about righteousness. They telling the young women that men ain't shit and that they should live their lives. And they're teaching the younger women to be whores and this so-called fairy tale wicked doctrine of independence. Why the hell would you tell a woman to be independent from a man? You bringing her down a pitfall of destruction. All right. But in the same breath, she's dependent upon a government which is ran and created by men. Simplicity at its finest. But continuing in Titus chapter 2, verse 4, it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. And all these women should have husbands, man. Even at that age, when she's 18, 19, she should already be married or betrothed to a husband. You know, whenever I see the Elamites, the East Indians, whenever they're out and about and I see their women, you can bet 9 times out of 10 their husband isn't far off. All right? I was in a Walmart today and I seen a decent looking Elamite chick, and I was like, hold up, I know her husband is around here somewhere, because 9 times out of 10 they're married, and at young ages too. And when I went to the next aisle, sure enough, her husband was in the other aisle waiting for her to return. So that's how all women are supposed to be. They're supposed to have husbands, they're supposed to have children. And let's continue to verse 5. It says to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. And these women of this generation are not chaste, they're not discreet, they're not keepers at home. They're wandering to and fro, driving in these cars like maniacs, committing all type of vain acts. They all over OnlyFans and Twitter and Instagram and all these social media platforms, shaking their ass, spewing madness out of their mouth. They're not discreet, they're not chaste, they don't dress modestly, they're completely out of control. So it's sad to see when you hear and see these things, but it's just another indicator and another example of why it's so important that we need the Messiah to deliver us out of the hands of our enemy. Because as a nation, we are completely trodden down by the so-called white people whose biblical nationality is Edomites. All right, they've done a number on us as a nation, and if it wasn't for the mercy of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, we would be, we would just be in slavery forever, and our minds would be corrupted under this devil. So the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, that he's bringing back a remnant to learn the righteous ways and live in those righteous ways as we enter into the kingdom to come. So yeah, I want to do a video touching on that because I watched it and it was sad to hear. Even when you look at the whole video, she goes on a whole rampage. Like the interviewer asked her, "Do you have no shame?" And then the girl went on. The girl got mad and started showing out. So it's just to show you the mindset of not just the young women in this society, but the young men. Everything's out of order because the devil is ruling. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I've said what I wanted to say. Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next time I say, Shalom.